Alright, we're back. So, last case. Quite a banger. I mean, it's probably the worst case in the game, but still, no. The yokai case is probably worse. I don't know. These two cases are kinda... Whoops, did not mean to... Why'd it go to the other game? These two are kinda like... They're okay. But what we're gonna do is, we're gonna be starting case 4, which is the Cosmic Turnabout. Now, this starts the finale of the game. This finale stretches over 2 cases. This case is set up a little weird. It's shorter, not as short as case 1, but also you're going to be seeing the lead up in this case to the first case. So we're going to be leading up to episode 1 and then skipping over episode 1 and going on beyond that. So it's a bit weird, but yeah, this is the Cosmic Turnabout, episode 4. This is voiced. Nope, never mind. The courtroom bombing incident. A terrible attack launched by the will of a madman. That incident perfectly symbolized the state of the legal world in this dark age of the law. Take a shot. Mr. Wright brought it to a resolution of sorts. Ted Tonate was discovered to be the one responsible for the bombing. If only it were that simple. Somehow, I can't help but think. It's like AA3's Case 4, pretty much. It's longer than that, though. That there's a darker influence at work. One that's lurking in the shadows, waiting. That's why I want to review the trial that was taking place when the bombing occurred. After all, I've got more than a few personal stakes in it. The Cosmic Turnabout. Now we get the anime cutscene, right?
Until launch. Please begin your final equipment check.
Check complete. Everything's A-okay. We're ready here whenever you are.
Come in at 2. Come in. Do you copy?
If there were 2 astronauts on the moon and one stabbed the other with a knife, would that be fucked up or what? December 16th, 9:12 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 5. Time for another trial to begin. But this one is different. Sorry to bother you, but... Oh, that's Juniper. Gonna rest? You're lurking? Okay. I'm only going for like another hour or so. I don't think I'm gonna finish this trial day before the end of the stream. But this one's set up weird, because it's like a trial, and then an investigation, and then a trial. It's actually like not... It's weird. It starts with a trial, but then it doesn't end the same day. Are you alright, Apollo? Was I making a scary face just now? Oh, hi, Juniper. Yes, I'm fine. Just doing my Chords of Steel exercises. Now I'm all ready to go. Yes, knowing you, I'm sure you'll be just fine. Oh, I brought you a present from my garden. Is this a lotus root? That's right. My grandma says lotus root is good for your eyes. She even says that if you look through those holes, it can help you see into the future. It's for good luck. Maybe later you can cook it and... Thanks for this. I'm gonna have some right now. Oh my. Juniper best clan. Kinda tough, though. You can't eat it raw, but... Thank you for the enthusiastic try. Oops. If she didn't think me weird before, she will now. I gotta calm down. Apollo, I'm sorry I'm late. Hi, Athena. Junie, I didn't know you were coming today. Did you come to cheer Apollo on? Oh, I get it, you sly little thing, you. Athena, stop. Quit kidding around, Athena. The trial's about to start any second. Is everything all set? Oh, Apollo, when will you ever figure it out? Figure out what? Wow, that was the longest sigh I've ever heard. Get ready to hear that a lot. This is it. All over for me. They're gonna find me guilty. This is our client, one Mr. Solomon Soul Starbuck. He's a very famous astronaut who happens to be an acquaintance of mine. You wouldn't know it right now, but he's usually a very upbeat and driven person. The scene of the crime this time happened to be the Cosmos Space Center. Back in high school, my best friend and I went there almost a little too much. Look, his head's a rocket ship. He's got like the little fins on the side, and then the tip at the end. What that tip do, though? But that's where we met Mr. Starbuck. I like that you can't see the A in the logo when it's black and white. Legit hate this case? Really? I think that taken as a whole with the next case, it's really good. We'd ask about space travel, and he'd launch into story after story with so much passion. Back in those days, the man was 100% my hero. Academia. Are you sure it's okay with being my lawyer, Apollo? Of course I'm sure. I know you, Mr. Starbuck. I know you're not the type to commit murder. Thanks, but... I was supposed to be in space right about now. He's so depressed it almost seems like an act. The launch getting called off must have been a huge shock. I'll probably never get the chance to go into space again. Don't say that. Don't stop believing. Besides, I just have to go into space again. Yeah. I don't think I could face Clay in the afterlife if I just rotted away in a cell. Clay Terran. I can't believe he was murdered. I mean, he was such a promising astronaut under your command. Yeah, he was a good guy. Always there to pick me up when I was down. No one loved life as much as him, that's for sure. He was always so full of energy, telling me, "You're fine, Mr. Starbuck." Clay looks like he belongs in a JRPG. He's got the Jotaro hat. Little no logic. I expected to come up with the train of thought this game expects you to figure out. I guess. I don't know. A lot of Ace Attorneys like that, though. How could something like this happen to a guy like him, huh? I've never seen Mr. Starbuck so down. Clay's gone and I'm going to prison. Wish I could burn up like a shooting star right now. Mr. Starbuck, you'll be fine. What is it? What's with all the yelling? I'll get to the bottom of this today. You'll see. And in exchange, I want you to go back into space for you and Clay. Promise? Does that mean you have lots of evidence to prove my innocence? Oh, well, about that. We didn't get to investigate the area as much as I'd like to have, thanks to the police. I'm done for. I'm a goner. No, that was Hugh in the last case. Hugh a goner. This one in particular is bad at it. I actually had to look at a guide to see what I have to do. Well, hopefully I won't get as caught up as you're saying I would. Everybody thinks I did it. Thought I was gonna soar like a comet, but I'm just gonna crash like a meteorite. Oh, don't say that, Mr. Starbuck. Don't count yourself out yet. I know it's hard to lose a teammate, but you've got to keep going. And what about you, Apollo? What about me? I was just thinking, wasn't Clay your best friend? We need to focus on the trial right now. Are you all ready to go? Apollo. Trial's about to begin. The defense would please proceed into the courtroom. Okay, here we go. This is it. This is one trial I can't afford to lose. Yep, the best friend that came up in the last case is now dead. For Clay's sake and our clients, I will find Clay's killer. December 16th, 9:55 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 4, because we know it's the one that gets bombed. None of this is mentioned in AA6, just saying, yeah, it's weird. Apollo's character development is so, like, bad. Like, the 6 is probably the best character development he gets. And let's be honest, it's too little too late by that point. Day 1, court is now in session. All rise. Oh, by the way, Apollo already has something on him. Court is now in session for the trial of Solomon Starbuck. Defense is ready, Your Honor. So he was wearing that at the beginning of the game when he was all bandaged up, but now we see he was wearing it before the bombing happened. Attorney's badge. My cherished attorney's badge. Just putting it on makes me feel ready. Terran's autopsy report. Cause of death, stabbing. Victim was discovered in the 3rd floor boarding lounge in the main building. Oh, knife in your chest. Dina Sykes, latest lawyer to join our agency. She lived in Europe for a time, where she studied psychology. Phoenix Wright, head of our office. He was retired once, but made his return to the legal world a few months ago. Tracy Wright, an aspiring magician whom Mr. Wright adopted as when duty called. Clay Terran, age 23, the victim in this case. He was a Hat 2 crew member and a close friend of mine. Juniper Woods, age 18, Adina's childhood friend. Talented singer and student council president. She's studying to be a judge. Solomon Starbuck, age 33, the defendant in this case. He was a Hat 2 crew member and a mentor to the victim. Excuse me, Mr. Justice. Yes, Your Honor? What happened to your eye? I'm fine. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Phoenix was the dad who stepped up. Are you sure I don't... I'm fine, Your Honor. The defense is ready. I'm sorry, Your Honor. He's been like this since yesterday. He keeps insisting it's just a sty. I suppose it's something he doesn't want to discuss. Maybe he's entering a touchy age. Very well, and the prosecution? So has a painful red pimple-like bump on the eyelid caused by a bacterial infection of an oil gland or eyelash follicle, often appearing as a blood boil filled with pus. Ugh. By the way, it can be spelled with an E at the end as well. Prosecution appears to be ready as well.
Silence.
You know, we're 3 hours into the stream and I'm still not done with my water bottle yet. This is so good. I love that it just lasts the entire stream. Not yet. I'm not quite ready yet. Ah! Drink moss, yeah. Prosecution is now ready. Well, it didn't take him long this time. What's up with Blackquill? Now then, I shall give the opening statement.
Silence.
I'll do it. You will? What an unexpected surprise. This time I can't leave it to anyone else. I see. Something is off with the two of you today. You both seem different somehow. Very well, Prosecutor Blackquill. Your opening statement, if you would. It was just yesterday. The crimes in question occurred at the Cosmos Space Center. Ah, that famous federal research facility of all things related to astrology, right? Astronomy. It's astronomy. Anyway, a rocket was set to launch from there. But at 9:28 a.m., before they could even move the rocket to the launch site... My god, that is loud. 2 explosive devices were detonated, and the launch was cancelled. My word, 2 bombs! How dreadful. The defendant in today's trial is charged with both the bombing and with murder. One Mr. Solomon Starbuck, For whatever inane reason, he detonated a bomb on a rocket he himself would be in. Solomon Starbuck? I recognize that name. Isn't he that famous astronaut? Correct, your baldness. Mr. Starbuck was the pilot of the Hat-1 rocket 7 years ago. As you may recall, despite some interstellar trouble, his mission was a success. Some say it was a miracle he returned alive. Suppose you could say he's a living legend. Oh, I remember now. He's become something of an international celebrity, right? Mankind's hope for the future. I've got to make it back alive. The Hat-1 Miracle, a moving and thrilling documentary in 3D. Come along on a captivating space odyssey that will take your breath away. I like how his hair is like so much more messy there. They even turned that incident into a movie and everything. We've got a real space pioneer in court today. Humph. But even more heroes tumble from their lofty heights. Returning to the subject at hand. Ah, yes, the victim was one Mr. Clay Terran, a subordinate of the defendant. Indeed, a loyal disciple brutally stabbed to death by his mentor. Stabbed to death, you say? You mean his death wasn't the result of the bombing? Correct. Despite his lofty dreams, the victim was seen as an interloper by the defendant. And so he was not sent into space, but to the universe which we mortals cannot see. Clay... I think I've heard enough. The case seems pretty clear-cut at this point. However, there is one thing I'm curious about. That metal box next to the witness stand. We've seen that box before. What purpose does it serve exactly? Since you asked so nicely, it's your coffin. Ah! Have mercy on me! I jest. It's evidence. Due to its immense size, we've little choice but to lay it where it rests now. We shall get to the contents of the box in due time. Phew. I feel like I was just lost 50 years off my life. Does he even have 50 years left? Inner monologue, Athena. Inner monologue. I mean, we know what's in the box. We played the first case. There's not evidence in there. There's something else in there. Enough jabbering. Bobby Fulbright's the name. In justice we trust. Ah, Detective Fulbright. Very well then, please explain the details of this incident to the court if you would. On it. First, take a look at this pamphlet from the Cosmos Space Center. In it, you'll find a diagram outlining the overall layout of the Space Center. 21st century exploration. Let's go to Jupiter. Cosmos Space Center. Launchpad 1. B-6. Space Museum. Ah, here we are. For a more detailed look at what's on the left side of this building, take a look at this cross-section that we have the police created. So shelter in B1, lounge in 3rd floor, Launchpad 1 corridor on the 3rd floor, middle, lower, and upper levels in Launchpad 1. See the launchpad in the main building? A launchpad is the square building and the rounded structure is the main building, right? You got it. The incident took place in Launchpad 1 and in the main building's lounge. I'll be using this diagram during my testimony. It'll make it easier to understand. Cross-section view of the main building of the Space Center and Launchpad 1. Details of the case. Just before the rocket was set to launch, 2 bombs went off. Boom! Boom! One on the 2nd floor of the Space Center's main building, and one in Launchpad 1. Thankfully, only the 2 astronauts were in Launchpad 1 at the time. The 2 of them managed to make it back as far as the boarding lounge. But after the escape, one of the 2 was found stabbed to death. A murder on top of a bombing. Detective, the victim was already dead by the time you arrived at the lounge, correct? Yep. Thinking he'd sabotage the bombing, the defendant killed him right there in the rocket. Just look at this tragic photo. Oh my, is that the knife in the victim's chest? Yes, Your Honor, it's the knife that cruelly ended this young man's dreams. We couldn't get any prints off of it, though, because the defendant was in his spacesuit. Utility knife. The victim's blood was found in its blade, but no fingerprints could be lifted. By the way, Detective Fulbright, why are the victim's helmet and right glove absent in this photo? We had to remove them to identify him, Your Honor. I personally removed his glove during the investigation. We had to get his fingerprints to confirm his identity, after all. Yes, it would be very difficult to identify him without a face or fingerprints. And there's just one more thing I'd like to inquire about. What is this round thing next to the victim in this photo? Something so important to the victim he took it with him as he escaped the launch pad. A capsule that apparently contains asteroid samples. While obviously valuable for research purposes, it has no relation to this case. I see. So, we know that the bomb was in the main building on the second floor. But where was the bomb that was in Launch Pad 1 located? That one was on the rocket itself. It was situated around the central part of the rocket. Apparently the area around the launch pad's elevator was a sea of flames. I'd like to submit this diagram report into the record. The explosion sparked a fire on the second floor of the main building and the middle level of the launch pad near the elevator. The trials just started and we're already in a bind. You get used to it. Besides, that's what cross-examination's for, right? What the two astronauts were doing during the bombing. That'll be the key.
Hold it!
How powerful were the explosions? Well, the one in the main building wasn't strong enough to bring the place down. But the room it went off in was burned black. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. Due in large part, of course, to me stepping up to lead the evacuation. Wait, what were you doing there in the first place, Detective Fulbright? I'm Bobby Fulbright, hero of justice. I'll be there wherever and whenever people need my help. I'd go to the other side of the world, or even the edge of the universe. Not sure he knows how far that actually is, but I guess I'll leave that one alone for now. Admirable decision, Justice Dono. Huh? What did he decide? Anyway, could you describe what it was like at the Space Center at the time? The bomb cut the power to the central bank of elevators in the third floor lounge. Ooh, it was pitch black in there, I tell you. However, the security cameras and whatnot were running on emergency backup. And how did the evacuation go? I immediately and heroically whisked people down into the Space Center's basement shelter. The basement shelter? Yes, there's an emergency shelter beneath the Space Center. An emergency shelter, huh? Oh, here it is. It's at the bottom of the diagram. The Space Center's pretty impressive to have its own shelter. Bombs went off despite the tight security. Police officers and riot police who had been standing by gave evacuation instructions. Power outage and evacuation seem unrelated to the murder at this point. Guess I'll leave that aside for now. So there were 2 explosions in total, correct? Yep, that's right.
Hold it!
Let me get this straight. Mr. Starbuck rigged a rocket he was going aboard with explosives. Huh? What are you talking about? If the defendant really did plant the bomb on his own rocket, he'd get caught in the explosion as well. Oh, I hadn't thought of that. Fine. A simpleton for a simpleton. Fulbright, the motive. Understood. The defendant actually had astrophobia. Astrophobia? What's that? A fear of space, naturally. Just the thought of space can cause the afflicted to freeze up. And so in his terror, the defendant found a way to stop the launch at the last minute. That's absurd. Unfortunately for you, we have evidence. Take a look at these. Oh man, ibuprofen, thank you. What are they? These anti-anxiety tablets were found among the defendant's possessions. Apparently he was taking them in secret to quell his fears. There were a multitude of problems with the rocket Mr. Starbuck rode 7 years ago. Rumor has it threatened to crash a number of times as well. It looks like paracetamol. Paracetamol? Does that turn you into a parrot? That was, of course, very traumatic for Mr. Starbuck.
Objection!
But that doesn't mean he'd go so far as to blow up his own ship.
Silence!
The defendant couldn't bear to mar his good name now, could he? No, not after the media had branded him Sol Starbuck, space pioneer extraordinaire. Given these conditions, the defendant could hardly run away like some base mutt. Wait, what? So that's why you think he resorted to the bombing? Naturally, he constructed this act of sabotage in an attempt to blow up the Space Center, which would effectively abort the launch, but spare his reputation. I'm sure you understand why we have to bring justice down on this atrocious criminal.
Hold it!
Are you sure it was only the two of them? Two of them. It was just before the spaceship was set to launch, so of course it was only those two. Well, there could have been somebody else inside the rocket.
Silence!
Not a chance, dipshit. The notion of a third party in Launchpad 1 is utterly absurd. Just to enter the area from the lounge, one must pass through a door guarded by a fingerprint recognition device. And allow me to state up front that there are precious few with the clearance to do so. A fingerprint recognition device? Sounds as futuristic and complex as a space center. Actually, it's not as amazing as you think, Your Honor. Take a look at this photo. This is the door in the lounge with a fingerprint lock. Only personnel whose fingerprints are registered can pass through. I see. That is very different from what I had in mind. And is there a record of the number of people that passed through the door yesterday? Yes, there were only 3. The defendant, the victim, and... the director of the Space Center, Yuri Cosmos. Then doesn't it mean it's possible that the director is the one who did it? Not a chance. He was in the main building when the bombs exploded at 9:28. Doing his job directing the launch. Besides having an alibi, he has no motive for committing these senseless acts. He has a point. Guess the director can't be considered a suspect then. Simon Blackwell, prosecutor and prison inmate. He can manipulate witnesses through the power of suggestion. Bobby Fulbright. He led the evacuation effort at the Space Center after the bombing incident. Detective assigned to this case. Biometric door lock operated by fingerprint recognition. Only the defendant, the victim, and the space director had clearance.
Hold it!
Notice I'm getting all the evidence by pressing him here. Like, there's no... I think that's the entire point of just going through this right now. So while it would appear that the pair barely escaped with their lives, in actuality, one of them had already been murdered inside the rocket. That's the angle the prosecution wants to push, correct? You got it. In fact, that's what I've been trying to say this whole time. If the victim had been alive, he would have been sure tried to stop the bombing. Is there any chance Mr. Terran could have been killed before he boarded the rocket? They were both alive and well at boarding time and embarked under their own power. Their hearts full of hopes and dreams of space. And both of their hopes and dreams were dashed. I may continue my explanation. After the evacuation order was given, the defendant made his escape, carrying the victim to make it look like a rescue.
Hold it!
And who was the first to find the victim? Actually, there were 2 of them. The Space Center director, Yuri Cosmos, and Detective Candace Arm. Oh, look who that is. Call back. One of them was a detective? Yup. Detective Arm specializes in bombings, you see. She and the director were ordering the evacuation following the explosions. They were also worried about the astronauts, so they hurried over to the boarding lounge. That's when they discovered the victim, along with the defendant. 2 witnesses, huh? And one of them's a detective. Doubt either one would have anything to say that would help me. Where is Candace Arm, anyway? I think that pretty much covers the details of the case. Only the victim and the defendant were on the launch pad when the former was killed. If this is the truth, then only Mr. Starbuck could have carried out this crime. What little I could get out of him only hurt my case. Humph, Justice Dodo. Foolish is the warrior who rushes headlong into battle. Preparation's an essential element of battle, so I advise you take a gander at this. What is it? Footage from a security camera, as the 2 astronauts emerge from the bowels of Launchpad 1 corridor. Bowels. The boarding lounge security camera captured their desperate escape. I would now direct your attention to what the defendant is shouldering, which you could see is none other than the lifeless body of the victim. What? Order, I say. I'm out of water. This lines up exactly with what the prosecution's been asserting. I should have known Blackwell would have something like this ready. Video showing the defendant and victim's escape from the corridor to the board. Video showing the defendant and victim's escape from the corridor to the boarding lounge. Apollo, how exactly did they determine that Clay was already gone in that footage? I see what you mean. Whether Clay was still alive at that point is pretty crucial. Your Honor, please take another look at the footage. Isn't it possible that Mr. Terran was still alive here and that Mr. Starbuck was helping him? Why, I believe you're right. One man carrying the other to safety. What a beautiful expression of friendship.
Silence.
Humph. Perhaps that looks what it looks like to a one-eyed hothead and a dotard. But it only makes sense if it's the victim's dead body. What do you mean? Fulbright, explain it to Justice Dono. You got it. Ready, kid? If the murder had occurred in the lounge, someone could have spotted it. Anyone can enter the lounge, after all. But doing it while they were alone in the spaceship? That's a horse of a different color.
Objection!
You can't deny that there's a possibility the murder could have happened in the lounge. All that video shows is a man helping his fellow astronaut out.
Silence.
Your assertion is based on emotion. It's based on your belief that Mr. Starbuck would surely help his own disciple. But you have no logical explanation as to why the victim could still be alive. Unfortunately, Mr. Justice, the prosecution's right. Your argument is lacking in sound logic. It sounded perfectly logical to me. Well, Mr. Justice, if you have no further objections, I believe it's time to bring this cross-examination to a close. Objections? Well, Your Honor, the defense requests a little time to think and regroup. Given the facts, I'm not sure I see the need. What is it, Athena? It's just, there's something that's been bothering me. If it isn't the defense stalling for time, as always. Very well, I'm feeling generous. You may have a small measure of time. Yes. You have 5 seconds. 5 seconds! After that, I declare this cross-examination to be closed and a verdict to be rendered. Your baldness, raise your gavel high. It's time for a countdown. Oh. Ready? You don't have time. Spit it out, Athena. Only 3 more seconds. Look. I don't think the prosecution's explanation is very complete. Meaning? Meaning there's something missing, like they conveniently left it unexplained. Something they didn't explain. You're right. I think I know what you're talking about. Your 5 seconds are up, Mr. Justice. Is there anything you'd like about the prosecution's argument that you'd like to rebut? Yes, Your Honor. Actually, there is. There is something the prosecution's yet to make clear to this court. Well, if you put it that way. What is the prosecution has failed to explain? Motive for murder, why the body was moved. They failed to explain why Mr. Starbuck would bother bringing the body back at all. If the defendant wanted to kill the victim, why didn't he just leave the body in the rocket? Why go to the trouble of bringing him all the way back to the boarding lounge? Oh, that's true. Don't think we've heard the prosecution's thoughts on that yet. That's because they have none, Your Honor. After all, how does one explain something so illogical? The prosecution's claiming that the defendant moved the victim's dead body. What if the entire premise of that argument is wrong? Then let's hear your theory, Mr. Justice. The defense proposes that the defendant didn't kill the victim. He was helping him. Fulbright, explain it for our sad friend here before I nod off to his monotone monologue. Inform him exactly why Spaceboy moved the victim. Huh? They've gotta be joking, monkey face. It's simple. Mr. Starbuck did what he did to direct suspicion away from himself. He wanted to create the impression he heroically risked his life to save his partner. That's why he made sure to make it to the security camera so there'd be a record. At the very least, he appears to have achieved success with you and the old man. Just happened. The average person wearing a spacesuit weighs easily over 200 pounds. And this bird weighs over 400 pounds. Saving the life of a partner who weighs that much while trying to escape deadly flames. What a dramatic sob story for the silver screen. Indeed, I was completely taken in by the humanity of the story. You see, yet the true ending is all that of his... I can't even read that. Yet the true ending is that all the traces of his hammy act were meant to be blown up. Yes, and now we arrive at the thrilling conclusion. The third explosion.
Objection!
What are you talking about? There was no third explosion.
Silence!
Indeed, you are correct. But that is thanks to Detective Arm. It was she who identified and secured the final bomb. This guy's trying too hard to be a villain. Who, Blackwell? However, it doesn't change the fact that the third bomb was discovered in the lounge. The steel coffin beside the witness stand. That would be a bomb transport quace. Quace? I read Blackwell, yes, and then inserted the QU in that. The steel coffin beside the witness stand. That would be a bomb transport case. We use that to transport the deactivated bomb here. It was found in the lounge. A bomb in the form of a most distasteful toy. What? He's just antagonistic. One on the second floor of the main building, and one on the launch pad, and one in the lounge. The defendant planned to set off 3 fireworks displays. Fortunately, the third was discovered before it could be detonated, for had it not, the victim's body and other vital evidence would surely have been immolated.
Objection!
Gah! Before you utter a word, know that the evidence supports me. It's like he's reading my mind. Oh whoa, ooh woo. As it's still undergoing forensic investigation, I do not have the evidence on hand. However, know that a peculiar item was found in one of Mr. Starbuck's pockets. Specifically, a bomb detonation switch. Found what? I suspect the defendant had no time to destroy such damning evidence when the Space Center director and Detective Arms stumbled across the murder. So he thought to hide it in his pocket, feeble brain that he is. No, Mr. Starbuck would never do anything like that. It's 4 a.m. I can't be yelling, man. Justice Dono, open your eyes and see the truth. This appears to be irrefutable evidence that the accused set off the explosions. No, there has to be some kind of mistake. This can't be the truth. Still can't accept it? You believe in your client, come what may? Then why don't you cross-examine the defendant himself? This has got to be a trap. It's like Blackwell's controlling the entire game. Yeah, it seemed like he was waiting for me to bring up the body-moving issue. Why do you say that? Because he just had the right argument when I pointed it out. And to really rub it in, he had a decisive piece of evidence up his sleeve, too. He was trying to shake my faith in Mr. Starbuck and break me down. And making you cross-examine Mr. Starbuck at this point was part of his plan, too? Totally underhanded, but I wouldn't expect anything less from him. Now let us hear from the arch-villain, the fiendish murderer himself. Famed astronaut Solomon Starbuck. Witness your name and occupation, please. Solomon Starbuck, astronaut. How did this happen? Mr. Starbuck, you aren't looking very well. Will you be able to give testimony? No. Well, unfortunately, no is not an option. You are being accused of the Space Center bombing and the murder of Clay Terran. Please testify to these allegations. His name is Earth. Clay Terran. Mind if I take this suit off? It's getting really heavy.
Silence!
It's not the weight of the suit that you feel, but of your sins. Prepare to carry that weight for the rest of your life. Banish me to the moon. I don't care anymore. Wow, that was super negative. Is he going to be alright up there? He'll be fine, I think. As long as he doesn't totally give up and say he did it, that is. More like shitless testimony. Clay Terran is just dirt now, yep. I did not kill him! All I did was support Clay over my shoulder and get us out of the rocket. Like always, I took the elevator down to the middle level and headed for the corridor. Clay had passed out by the time we got the order to evacuate. I didn't kill Clay. I was trying to save him. So you assert you didn't set off the bombs or murder the victim. But I bet you think I'm lying, right? I reserve all judgment until after I've heard your full testimony. I'm sure you don't believe me. I bet you don't even believe I'm an astronaut. I don't think the judge doubts that. Who'd wear a suit like that except an astronaut? I will say that when I saw you in that movie, you appeared quite courageous, though I suppose reality never quite lives up to fantasy. Seep is playing Air Riders. Guess I'm just a big disappointment. I really don't care what happens anymore. Oh no, he's completely given up. What a depressing fellow. He would have joined me in the clink. I imagine that annoying sighing of yours would rub off on the other inmates. Like how it rubbed off on Prosecutor Blackquill a second ago? Huh? That was Blackquill sighing? Mr. Starbuck's testimony contains a glaring contradiction. Question is, what does it mean? Even if Mr. Starbuck is my client, I can't be gun-shy now. It's time to find out the truth. Only the fingerprints of Directive, Cosmo, Starbuck, and Terran are authorized. An independent security company manages the usage records. Backup power allows it to function even when the power goes out. Attempts to use print recognition are also recorded via security camera.
Objection!
Yeah, the elevator was on fire. Mr. Starbuck, I need your testimony to be as accurate as possible. Was I not being accurate? No, because it's impossible for you to have taken the elevator down to the middle level. What makes you say that, Mr. Justice? Please recall where the bomb went off in Launch Pad 1. Also recall that after the explosion, the middle level elevator was engulfed in flames. Oh, you're right, which means... Exactly, the launch pad's elevator would have been unusable. In other words... Mr. Starbuck, your statement is decidedly inconsistent with the facts. What's with the helmet? Mission Command! Mission Command! Do you read me? Come in, please!
Objection!
This is Mission Command. I order you to pay attention! Stop this nonsense and answer my questions, Mr. Starbuck. My helmet! My oxygen tank! Oxygen concentration and body temperature declining. Requesting medical assistance. Damn, dude. Mr. Starbuck, we are not in space right now. Please stop pretending you've lost consciousness and stand back up. Answer my question and pay attention. That's the whole game, yeah. I apologize, Your Honor. Forgot I was still on Earth. Feel like we all just got a glimpse of the real glimpse of Solomon Starbuck, the astronaut. Yeah, he seemed more like an astronaut now than when he was doing all that sighing. Mr. Starbuck, could you please explain the inconsistency in your statement about how you used the middle-level elevator? I, was nervous and said the wrong thing. I'm sorry. I actually, took a different route, I think. A different route? Was it a weird route? Hope you're able to deliver a straight story this time. I'll get right on. All right, we'll get it right this time. Maybe. No, I mean probably. Probably. It's understandable to be nervous, but let me remind you, accuracy is paramount in court. My escape route. Let's see, my escape route. What I said before was a mistake. I remember now. I took a different route. Maybe, probably, with the capsule and clay in my arms, I made my way down from the upper level. So you're saying you escaped without using the elevator? That's right. There's a ladder that spans the upper and middle levels. I used that ladder to get down to the middle level. Luckily, the fire hadn't reached the ladder, so we could make our escape that way. And the capsule you mentioned. I suppose you mean that thing next to Mr. Terran here. Was the capsule that important that you'd risk your life to take it with you? It almost goes without saying, but yeah, that capsule contains asteroid samples. Therefore, it's invaluable as research material. With the spacesuit on, Clay weighed a ton, but securing the capsule was also important. I need you to answer to the best of your ability. Mr. Starbuck, please remember that your verdict is riding on your testimony. Maybe I am guilty after all. I wonder if you could see the stars in prison, but it's more comfortable than a spaceship. Getting lightheaded from all the sighing I'm doing.
Hold it!
How could you mistake such a basic fact? Hey, everybody makes mistakes, but try thinking about the vastness of space instead. From Earth, it takes 4 light years to travel to our nearest neighboring star. So you see, compared to the vast expanse of space, human error is insignificant. Wish you'd consider it just a little more significant than 0. Enough jabbering. Get on with your testimony.
Hold it!
Maybe, probably. Did I hear you right, Mr. Starbuck? I didn't say either of those things. Mission Control, come in, please. An error's occurred in the sound system. Activate the emergency tin can telephone. Oh, no! Tin can telephones are infected with the vacuum of space!
Silence.
Stop this nonsense, or I will sever you and your tin can telephone. Elephone? Playing a game of telephone with the word telephone there. I turned it into elephant. Elephone. Telefang. Alright, I'm begging you, I'll tell the truth. Just don't sever anything. Apollo, is he going to be alright? I'm starting to think he's not. Let's see. So about when we were running away... Someone say Telefang? Starbuck? Elephant teeth. The capsule and Clay in my arms may weigh the knife from the upper level. How? The upper level of the launch pad area? That's right. That's what I said, isn't it? Granted, that route does exist. So to recap, you had Clay over your right shoulder and the capsule in your left hand? Yeah, it's really important, so I couldn't let it get burned up. So even though Clay was really heavy, I couldn't afford to carry him with both hands. Did the best I could with him over one shoulder and the capsule in my other hand. I don't think the meaning of what he just said has hit him just yet. Humph, you know what you have to do with that statement, Justice Dono. Yes, I know. Well, I've come this far, no turning back now. Time to present some evidence. So Mr. Starbuck escaped with Clay in the capsule, which means... It's just like in the footage. You can see why he couldn't run, though. Must have weighed over 200 pounds just by himself. Yeah, and he had to support Clay, who was another 200 pounds. Plus he had to ensure the safety of the capsule. I don't think I could have even walked under those circumstances. Walking straight forward is probably about all I would have been able to manage. Oh, it's only 3 statements, okay.
Objection!
How could he have gotten down a ladder holding both Clay and the capsule? Mr. Starbuck, why don't you just tell the truth? The truth? Let's see. The Earth is blue? No, that's not right. So, guess the Earth isn't blue? Yeah, that's it. The truth, Mr. Starbuck. The oxygen concentration is super low in this area. Prepare the emergency oxygen tanks. Mr. Justice, the witness appears confused. Please help draw the truth out of him. Mr. Starbuck, under the circumstances at the time, you couldn't possibly have reached the boarding lounge via the upper level route. Huh? Not as long as this was along the escape route. Wait, what? Not as long as this was along the escape route, the ladder.
Take that!
To get down from the upper to the middle level where launch pad 1 core... The launch... Sorry. To get down from the upper to the middle level where the launch pad 1 corridor is, you would have had to go down the ladder. Isn't that right, Mr. Starbuck? Of course. That was the only way we could escape.
Objection!
But how would that work? At the time, you were supporting Mr. Terran over your shoulder, were you not? And remember, he was in full space gear, as well as putting him over 200 pounds. Oh. Well, it's easy on the moon. Gravity's only 1/6 of what it is on Earth.
Objection!
You're not on the moon, idiot. But the Space Center's located on Earth. Short of being an octopus, climbing a ladder with an adult male in space gear in one arm, while carrying the capsule in your other is impossible, wouldn't you say? Oh. So, Mr. Starbuck, how exactly did you climb down the ladder with your arms full? Mr. Starbuck, come clean and tell us the truth, now. Engineer, where's that engineer? Oxygen leak detected due to faulty maintenance. Evacuate immediately! What the? He's flying the coop. Help, I'm caught in the ceiling. Help? Anyone? What the? Kara, what are you responding to there? Lilith, prepare the cherry picker. We must launch our rescue mission at once. Well, that's one way to take off while being questioned. Rather prove his innocence so we could go to space someday for real. Karma, were you trying to react to a different person's chat? Are you watching two streams at the same time? Now then, Mr. Starbuck, do you think you could keep your feet planted on the ground? Yes, I apologize for losing control. Are you ready to tell us the truth? Not that. Anything but that. I want to dropkick Starbuck. What is going on? This isn't the Mr. Starbuck I know. It appears Space Boy is prone to deception. Witness? Yikes. Yes? I thought your story odd, but perhaps the inconsistencies can be explained as the result of a medical side effect. Prosecutor Blackwell, please. Please don't talk about that. What are you talking about, Prosecutor Blackwell? Cool, alright. Didn't I already state that Space Boy is ironically terrified of going into space? That's why he took some precautions just before the launch. For you see, traces of this anti-anxiety drug were found in his system. Oh, since things are about to nosedive. You got it all wrong. I told him during the investigation, too. I don't know anything about any drugs. I never took any medication, I swear. It's found in his system, but he doesn't remember taking it? How could that be? Somebody must have slipped them to me. But I guess maybe that's why I don't remember, because of the side effects. And that's why I don't remember much about what really happened. What? Order in the court. We can't get any useful testimony out of him if he doesn't remember anything. Well, this certainly explains why his testimony kept changing. Why didn't he just tell me he couldn't remember? Guess he didn't want anybody to find out he was terrified of going into space. Maybe I really did do it? Which brings us to the answer of our original question, of how the witness climbed down the ladder with a dead body. It does? So what is it? A dead man feels no pain and makes no complaints, Justice Dono. So the body was simply dropped down from the top of the ladder. Oh my, I see, and the defendant could climb down with his free hand and...
Objection!
Drop the body down? Who would do such a disrespectful thing? Literally the killer of the last case. Besides, dropping the body down would leave marks on the body itself. So you are capable of quick thinking. Yes, you are correct. Really? Oh, thanks, Huh? What's this? It's the oxygen tank from the victim's spacesuit. It's ruptured, and I'm sure you could figure out why. You can't be implying it ruptured when the defendant dropped the victim's body. I am, for they fracture easily when struck.
Objection!
Even if that's true, the tank's explosion and shrapnel would leave a mark on the body. Yet according to the autopsy report, report, only the knife was found on the victim's body. You're clearly grasping at straws with this line of reasoning.
Silence!
A spacesuit isn't heavy for the sake of being heavy, Justice Dono. Plus, you'll be able to tell if the body got manhandled like that, yeah. It includes the latest technological devices and is made of the fabric of tomorrow. This fabric is made to protect astronauts from the dangers of space, so falling a few Earth yards would hardly leave a mark on the wearer.
Objection!
And shouldn't it be impossible to stab someone through it as well? It should, and yet through sheer coincidence, the knife slipped through a weak spot in the suit's structure and found its way into the target. But what are the chances? You forget that our killer's an astronaut himself with knowledge of how the suits work. He's got me there. And now my argument has been proven. Spaceboy killed the victim in the rocket and then dropped his body from the upper level. After climbing down, he shouldered the body and made sure the camera recorded them. There's no room for debate about these facts. It's clear that Solomon Starbuck is the only one who could have killed Clay Terran. Gah! Here, the report regarding the astronauts' tanks. Consider it my send-off gift. I hit my lip there. Gift. Gift. Feel free to use it as payment to cross the river Styx. Ah! Victim's tank was ruptured with 0% left. The defendant had 80%. Remaining oxygen is displayed in the left shoulder. Hey, this report's pretty detailed. Let's see. The display on the astronaut's left shoulder shows the oxygen remaining. Guess that means these glowing cyan digits represent the amount of oxygen in the tank. I'm done for. I'm going to prison instead of space. Space boy? Yes? Take heart. The bejeweled night sky is still beautiful, even when viewed through bars. You mean stars as seen from prison? That's right. Your cell will be your spaceship. Picture the view through the iron bars. It's like being an astronaut in your own craft for all time. That's not a half-bad thought. Mr. Starbuck. Prosecutor Blackwell got to him good. Spaceship prison cell, fly me, my guilt and my despair into the deepest, darkest space. And then, let's get sucked into a black hole together.
Objection!
Mr. Starbuck, you can't give up hope. Oh, yes, Apollo? You know Clay really looked up to you. He said you were an incredible man. You are an incredible man. He said you never give up your dreams and passion for space, no matter the situation. He said that. So don't give up now and help me prove your innocence. For the sake of the man who respected you and believed in you. Clay Terran. For Clay. Humph, you're wasting your breath. For dirt, man, yeah. Apollo, thank you. I can see things clearly now. Mr. Starbuck. I'm fine now. Thanks for reminding me of my life's mission. Right, we'll both be fine. I'll prove you're innocent, you'll see. And after that, we'll get you back into space. Rah! You've ignited the booster rockets of my soul! I'm on fire! I am Solomon Starbuck, astronaut, a cosmic hero chosen by the universe itself. This is no time to be whimpering and crying. Can't let you and Clay down. Balderdash. The sun, the moon, all of space is calling me. Solomon Soul Starbuck. Ready for launch. Begin the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off! Well, I feel like I've witnessed an actual rocket launch. Apollo, you did it! You broke Prosecutor Blackwell's grip over Mr. Starbuck. Can't take the credit. It was all Mr. Starbuck. He pulled himself through. Humph. You simpletons are done massaging one another's egos. No matter how positive your mood, my advantage remains unshakable. I have but to wait for the final guilty verdict. Isn't that right, your baldness? Ah, can't let up now. I have to stop Blackwell. I have to see this through. Mr. Starbuck just has to make it back into space. I won't allow Clay's dream to remain unfulfilled. Gotta destroy Blackwell's argument somehow. Think, Justice, think. The only people at Launchpad 1 were Clay and Mr. Starbuck. And if Clay was already dead by the time this footage was taken, then the only person who could have killed him is Mr. Starbuck. So the only way to counter Blackwell's argument is if I could prove that Clay was still alive when they arrived in the boarding lounge. In which case, I should be able to find the contradiction somewhere in this evidence. Now let's see, about this data that we just received. This supposedly proves that Mr. Starbuck dropped Clay's body in Launchpad 1. But if I'm going to prove that false, then there must be something I could use here. Enough of this farce, your baldness. Let's have your verdict.
Objection!
Prosecutor Blackwell, you seem to be in quite a hurry to rush to the verdict. But about this oxygen tank data you submitted just now. It says that Mr. Starbuck's tank had 80% remaining while Mr. Terran's had 0. Do you stand by the accuracy of this report? Of course. And I guess it simply means that it's faulty, as evidence goes. You will explain what you mean, Justice Dono. It's simple. This evidence contradicts the facts of this case. Take a look here at the detailed description, you'll see what I mean. I hope you have some evidence, Mr. Justice, because I don't see what's so contradictory. Yeah? Yes, Your Honor, right away. Yep, you got it, Izzy. This is the evidence that the oxygen tank report stands in contradiction to. %. After the incident, the victim's tank was ruptured and the remaining oxygen was 0%. The tank belonging to Starbuck, who claims to have carried the victim, said it was 80% full. Tanks were functioning properly at the time. But the tank in here wasn't 80%, it's 50%.
Take that!
And how does this evidence present a contradiction? Problem is at this part here.
Take that!
Note the remaining oxygen in Mr. Starbuck's tank as he carries Mr. Terran. It appears to say 50. Yes, but according to the data, our client's tank had 80% remaining. The oxygen in the tank increased? I see Your Honor finds it as strange as I do. It's bad enough that there's a contradiction, but the increase in oxygen is beyond illogical. Oh my, you're absolutely right. What's going on here?
Silence!
I too find it odd that the oxygen remaining has increased. It would be as odd as if my rations were to increase. But what does that prove? It doesn't change the fact that it's the defendant carrying the victim's corpse.
Objection!
I'm going to bet you don't get more rations because you don't abide by the rules. Either way, the oxygen remaining shouldn't increase, it's just as your rations don't increase. Therefore, this new information's critical. We can't overlook it.
Silence!
In that case, do you have an answer to this riddle of the mysteriously increasing oxygen? You better not disappoint, or I'll declare the inconsistency as a mere equipment malfunction. Irk. Prosecutor Blackwell's a point. Suppose it could be a simple malfunction. Mr. Justice, if you cannot provide an adequate counter-argument to this point, I'm afraid I must bring this trial to an end. So you think you can explain why the remaining oxygen level increased? Of course I can. The thing to do at a time like this is turn my thinking around. Mr. Starbuck has no memory of it, but he claims to have carried Clay. So this man with the 50 on his tank ought to be Mr. Starbuck. But if anything, the display in his oxygen tank should have shown an 80. This is a clear contradiction between the report and the security footage. So what I should be asking is, why did the oxygen level increase? But what had to happen to have made it look like it increased? I'm making some kind of mistake in my base assumptions here? Well, Mr. Justice, we're waiting. Yes, Your Honor. I'm ready to answer. This is why the remaining oxygen appears to have increased. They were going the other way. The tanks were damaged. The victim was carrying the defendant. If it was upside down, it would only be 2. So that wouldn't make any sense either. It would still be, Terran's, because it would have been drained. Starbucks has 80, no matter what. What if it was the other way around? The other way around? Would you care to explain, Mr. Justice? As you could see, Your Honor, both men had their helmets on in this footage. But it turns out this is where our base assumptions went astray. We assumed that it was Mr. Starbuck helping Mr. Terran, but it was the other way around. It wasn't Mr. Starbuck helping Mr. Terran at all. It was Mr. Tarrant who was helping Mr. Starbuck to the boarding lounge.
It was what?
Order, order! Mr. Justice! You mean to tell me that the person on the right in this image is the victim, Clay Terran? It's the only way the riddle of the increasing oxygen level can be solved, Your Honor. At this point in time, the remaining oxygen in the victim's tank was at 50%. And when the victim was found in the boarding lounge, his tank was at 0%. That's right, there's nothing contradictory about the oxygen level decreasing. This means Mr. Terran was alive as they made their escape to the lounge.
Silence.
Oof, how short your memory is. You've forgotten what you yourself proposed. Even the victim was alive at this point in time. How did he descend the ladder with his arms full?
Objection!
Prosecutor Blackquill, you can't hurt me with the broken blade. Excuse me? It's true that we don't know how they got down the ladder. I suppose that matter needs further investigating. We've proven that Mr. Terran was alive when he reached the boarding lounge. This fact alone shatters your claims, and opens up the possibility that the victim could have been killed by a third party. Gah! There were two people who claimed to be the first in the scene, but can we trust their statements truly? Let's see, the two people were Detective Candace Arm and Yuri Cosmos, right? Think that one of them might have given a false statement to the police? Yes, it's certainly possible. Might have to do a little more digging. It seems we'll have to hear the testimony of the first two people on the scene, then. Score! Come to think of it, Detective Arm should be here in court right now. Bailiff, could you please show Detective Arm to the stand? Hold it! I have an announcement, everyone. What's the meaning of this? We're in the middle of a trial here. But please remain calm and listen carefully. Someone has reactivated the bomb. The bomb was defused, but... It's about to explode! Explode! And now we're leading into the first case, see? A bomb, now? Everybody run! I don't want to die. Oh no, everybody's panicking. I got to the end of the first trial day, somehow. Didn't think I would do it, but... This is the perfect place to stop after church, too. Headless chickens with a death wish, the lot of you. Calm yourselves before all else. Come on, Apollo, let's get out of here. What about Mr. Starbuck's dream? Who will carry out Clay's final wish? I don't care what happens to me. I'm not letting some bomb blow up the truth forever. I refuse to let things end here. Paul, this is no time to be dramatic. If we don't get out of here now, we're gonna die. Come on, this way. Hey, ouch, let me go. Apollo. Juniper? She hasn't evacuated yet? Juniper, are you alright? Apollo, no! Not that way! To be continued. Well, we know what happens right after that. Also, we know that inside that, that evidence case was not actually the bomb, but it was Candace Arm's body, as we find out in the first case. But that all, we'll see what happens in the next stream. We're actually already like a third through this case, which is good. I didn't think we were going to get to the end of the first trial day, but we did. Whew. Or objection. Anyway, thank you for coming tonight. Glad I was able to make the progress I wanted to tonight. Expect streams probably tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. We'll see. Expect more Ace Attorney. We'll expect the rest of Case 4, at least. And possibly some other stuff this week. Like I said, there might be some Mega Man in the very near future. And that's going to be fun. If you want to watch more streams, check out twitch.tv/team/littlespace. As is usual. There's only a couple people streaming right now. And I think I've, all people I've rated multiple times here. So I'm going to go ahead and raid Calzoners because they're playing Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, which is apparently a very interesting game. They're the same people who made Year Walk and Sayonara Wild Hearts. So I would like to play that at some point. But yeah, thank you so much for coming, everyone. I really appreciate it. I'll be back soon with more streams. Thank you so much. You all have a great night. Stay out of Calzoners. And I will see you tomorrow. Good night.
Kitchen,
Yes, sir?
make our burgers bigger.
Bigger, but they're already...